matters a lot. So what is more important in present scenario is one has to be very active on different social platforms. Why? Because earlier it is one of the very important part of recruitment transformation, or you can say HR transformation, that earlier we used to have a lot of campus drives. We used to hire people from different channels, which used to involve a lot of manual interaction as well, right? You used to reach out to certain HRs, or people used to candidates used to visit to the office. They used to submit their resumes and all. That time has already passed very like long ago. Now it's all about like as a recruiter or any company, they prefer to hire people from different job portals. We all are aware with Naukri.com, Monster, and etc. But there are another story, or you can say about the new trends in hiring platforms as well. They are social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, WhatsApp, Glassdoor, and the most important and efficient, which most of the company use, like close to 95 to 97% companies uses LinkedIn. So I would like to know, like, how many of you have LinkedIn profile? Can anybody mention on the chat box? Do you guys have your LinkedIn profiles? Have you ever made your account on that? Okay, so I got some answers. Yes, I have. So making as a job seeker or as a professional, it is very important that you maintain your LinkedIn profile. It should be updated. You should use very decent picture, professional picture, because that is your face in today's time, where most of the companies have already moved on virtual platform, right? So your profiles are your face. They are going to judge you, or they are going to evaluate through your profiles. So LinkedIn is one of the most popular platform where most of the companies hire or they look for the candidates, right? And your profile, your previous experiences, your achievements as a student as well, these all really count. So it is very important that you make your profile and make sure that you don't, you should maintain in a proper way. So what are the proper ways of having a good or a good profile which can create impact on recruiters or the employers? So the good way to create impactful profile is you must have professional picture. There should not be any spelling errors, right? So please be careful with that. If you are an active job seeker, there is an option to upload your resume. Make sure that you make a short and crisp resume which you upload there. So that also adds value, and it also helps recruiter to understand that what kind of job or previous experience or what kind of degrees you have. So that is one aspect which is one of the very very important platform. So as like due to this pandemic situations, even those companies who were not very much active on the different social media platform, now they are very active, right? Just for an example, as Shubham said, like campus recruitment. Earlier people in companies, they used to have slots, and they never used to miss any campus, right? But today even the companies are connecting virtually for the campus drives and all. So in such way, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, they all plays a very vital role. So just make sure that your presence is good on a social media platform. Why? Because it is going to help you to get your next job or assignment. Second thing which I would like to highlight, a lot of people or freshers face challenges with their as like someone has asked, skills and all. Today technology is changing like very rapidly. If today suppose I'm using something, within like 1 month or 2 month, I will get some other apps or some other platform which which are very efficient. They are better than what I'm using, right? And the other person is able to do that job within an hour, and whereas my old apps or platforms are taking 1 day or 2 days, right? So that's why adoption is very, very important, that you keep yourself updated with the market and latest trends. Now, what are the market and latest trend? How could you do that, right? So the best thing is, it totally depends on your respective stream. If someone is related to marketing, you go to online, search for what kind of skills are in trend. There are a lot of platforms which write free blogs. A lot of 60 to 70% material is already available free of cost. It just, you have to search, you have to put some efforts. So that is the one way to make yourself different, apart from with your co students or other people, right? It will always add value. So learn different skills, right? Suppose if you are like aspiring engineer, right? So what you could do, a lot of people already learn C, HTML, C++. What you can do differently is, you can go for some advanced level language, right? If you're learning basics of Java as well, it is going to help, right? So why? Because we always want to hire somebody at least who have theoretical knowledge. Now, the second question arrives: what about the practical hands-on experience? So you don't need to look for a job, full-time job, to get that experience. There are a lot of online projects are available on a different platforms, right? You can search according to your interest, right? If you are interested in Java, then you should search what kind of Java platforms are available, what kind of trainings they are provided. I'm talking about the free trainings as of now, right? There is also paid material also, but let's talk about what is more accessible to each and everybody, right? So there are a lot of companies which conduct the assignments, right? They help you to get trained also, right? And they don't charge anything. So this is also the one step which will add value, be it like a professional person or a fresher person, right? Third thing, a lot of people have this fear, like, what is going to happen in upcoming time? What about the freshers? Will we get the jobs or not? So, the way technology is changing, a lot of experienced folks who have 10 years or 15 years or even 7 years of experience, they have difficulty in adopting the technologies, right? Maybe there could be like a lot of different reasons for that, right? Their interest areas or their motivation level, it totally depends on them, right? So companies prefer to hire freshers with new energy, those who have motivation to learn and deliver better in terms of better to the companies, right? So please don't scared or fear that there are no jobs in the market in the upcoming times. A lot of companies have already announced that they are going to hire fresher people. So that's the one aspect, right? So we as an HR, throughout my experience, or be it like in Shubham's experience, you know we always look for good candidates, and we always struggle to get good candidates, and what we expect, we just expect the basic skills, which are very, very important. We really do struggle with that. We Everybody knows, like, today's all IT companies or other business are globally present. They have global presence, right? So in global business, what are the main parameters they look for in a student? They are like communication skills. What do we understand with the communication skills? English. Yes, English is one important parameter. Why? Because if I'm going to interact with people who are sitting in America, in UK, in like different Asian countries, right? So they all have their own native languages. Okay, so we need to come up on some common language. That common language is called English. So you need to really work on your communication skills, because that is the way which will help you to get into the corporate world, and of course do excel in your work. So these are the points which I would like to sum up once again, and then I'm okay to take questions. The first thing is, like, make sure that you have good presence on social medias, right? It is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Glassdoor, and there are ample number of platforms which are really, really good. Just updating your profile, CV or Naukri wouldn't help anymore, right? First thing. Second thing which you need to work on your do more assignment related internship or assignment related practical assignments which will add value, and that you can search on online. So in respective to your stream, you will get that. And the third most important thing, work on your communication skills. That is really, really important. So I'm open to take questions. I would be happy to answer your queries and questions. Thank you. If someone can read me the question, that would be really good. Else, let me just check.
Hello, Sakshi ma'am.
Yes.
This is Dr. Sudhir Narayan Singh, Head Humanities and Management Science, Madan Mohan
Hi.
Malviya University of Technology. We are the host institute. I have a very small question, and it is from the side of my students. Normally, it used to come. As you mentioned that we need to, our students need to meet profile, updated profile on LinkedIn. And you have also mentioned a good point that it should be crisp resume. So when you say crisp resume, what should be the exact size of the resume?
Okay, so in terms of crisp resume, I was referring to the content. So in my experience, or like so far, like I have come across to the freshers resume, most of the resumes have been created by cut, copy, paste. The content will be same for everybody. You know, as a recruiter, if I'm as an HR or as a recruiter, if I'm looking into the resume, I will encounter a lot of people who would just copy paste their hobbies also, you know, interest areas also. So, you know, that creates really negative impact, right? So that is the one thing which I mentioned, that resume should be very personal. They should be very crisp and short. You should write what you really are. You should not from somebody's else a template or what is available in the internet. You can refer the template, but the content should be real and it should belong to you, rather than what is available on the internet. So that is like my first answer to your
Actually, what size of
question.
resume you
Could
wish
you just
to
repeat the
see
first
as an
question?
HR professional? As an HR professional, what exact side would you love to see the size of resume for
Okay.
social media and for interview part?
Okay.
Like
So if
one
you talk
page,
about
two
the
page,
size,
three. Yeah.
in current time, like we prefer we or market prefers to have one page resume, right? But if you think that student or as a professional, like if suppose if I am a professional person, I have 10 years of experience, right? So
Yeah.
my experience wouldn't be come in one resume. But if you so it totally depends how you want to represent yourself, but it should always cover whatever the extra activities you have done, whatever your achievements are, right? And it should always share in the PDF form, right? That is also one mistake which a lot of people commit. They share in Word format. It should be always shared in PDF form. And the ideal resume as per the market is one page a resume.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So
Hello.
if any one of
Hello.
you having any more question, please.
Good evening, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, carry on.
Ma'am, like Shubham sir also previously mentioned that machine learning and automation, then artificial intelligence, these things are playing a major role. And then also, you also said in your interaction that these things are important. So being an HR professional, will learning these languages, machine languages, C or Java or any other language, will it help us in the future or what?
May I know your name?
Ma'am, Bhanu.
Bhanu.
Bhanu Shrivastava.
Bhanu,
Yes, ma'am.
it totally depend. It totally depend on your profession, and in which stream you want to make your career. Suppose like I want to become HR, and so I'm not going to learn Java programming I'm going to learn more related to my profession, like how ATS works, what are the things which can help me, right? So it totally
Yes.
depends on your profession. If you want to do engineering, then you must learn the programming languages. If somebody has interest in the data aspect, then there are different kind of skill sets for them. So it is totally and purely depend on your interest area. If someone is in marketing, they do not need to learn programming languages. They really need to understand like what are the apps or what are the platforms which will help them to track the marketing stats and all, right? Should have basic understanding of data, data, right? That how they are going to understand that whether the so there are different tools and platform, so they with such kind of tools. So it is totally depend on your profession. It is not necessary that a person should learn each and everything. So in my profession, in HR, into HR or recruitment, the uses of AI ML are in a different way, right? They are into like they are applicable in if I as Shubham has already mentioned, if I want to search candidates, so it is going to help me. I'm going to use some kind of tools which are like some people use SAP, some people use their own ATS. So it totally depends on your profession.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank
Hello.
you, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Welcome. Yes, I can hear.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Ekna and I'm MBA second year student of Madan Mohan Malviya University of Technology. So I had basically two questions. First, as you mentioned that technology is changing very rapidly. So being an HR associate at an initial level, what challenges you face whenever there's this like digital transformation in HR sector, and like how you deal with it? And my second question to you was that like my specialization is in HR. So for opting an HR in this digital era, what extra skills a candidate must possess?
Okay. So like when I'm so if you talk about what are the challenges which I have faced, so I mean supposedly today, like I'm working on some later than I guess within a month of span of time or 2 months, like something else has been introduced. If I'm hiring through LinkedIn platform, then I got to know like that a lot of following for particular skill is on Instagram. So it totally depends for which skills I'm working on, right? According to that, I have to adapt with new technologies and platforms very rapidly, right? We do a lot of courses which help us to get a good grip on new trends and latest trends. So the challenges have been always why I never felt a lot of challenges, because I have always been updating myself with the current trends. If like as I told you earlier, we used to source through Naukri.com, right? Now we are sourcing through Instagram also, Glassdoor also, lot of different platforms. So people sometimes stick to the traditional way, but that I never did, because I know if one has to get update with the latest trends in market, one really needs to upgrade themselves by learning. So I guess learning was the key to me, that I have always upgraded myself. I always try to learn new trends and what are the market conditions. So that is one aspect. And second, you asked me what are the ideal skills HR candidate or aspire HR should have. So it totally depends in which vertical you want to go. If you want to come into the recruitment role, then one has to be very agile. Agile in the sense, it's not just about that I have to upgrade myself related to HR. I also have to understand about the different new technology, right? Why? Because I'm hiring people from different backgrounds, like be it Java developer or ML or AI, right? So if I don't know about the basics, I'm not talking about I must know or you must know the programming language, but you should know to hire a Java candidate. what are the latest upgradation in that. If somebody is using Angular 5, it's a framework of Java, then the current trend is like Java, Angular 8. So one HR has to be a recruiter, or you can say the person who is hiring manager. They really needs to upgrade themselves like 360 degrees. So I would just suggest you, if you want to make your career into the HR, then first you should read a lot. You should understand what are the what are the different verticals are available into HR. That's it. This will really help you. And there are a lot of courses also, YouTube videos also there, tutorials. You should understand the basic terminologies, how people work. So that will help you to get more grip on the subject. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, ma'am. This is Riya Shrivastava. And ma'am, my question to you is that as we are going to be hired as freshers and we are about to complete our MBA, so ma'am, what is the best approach to newcomers socialization during the initial working? Because as we see that COVID-19 has greater emphasis on the corporate sector. So what should be our approach and perspective of thinking, ma'am?
Okay, so if you're targeting for internship, I guess like a lot of companies are providing work from home internship. So you should update your resume on Internshala or different platforms. That's the one. And the second thing, of course, you can work on your skills. Could you just tell me, like, in which profession you want to make your career or get a job?
Yes, ma'am. My specialization is HR.
HR, right? So as I told, I answered earlier. There are a lot of good websites which provide
Yes, ma'am.
basic courses on HR, and a lot of YouTube videos are also there. So you can go through to it, so to get a good grip on it. When a candidate know the theoretical knowledge as well, and how it practically can be executed, right? It also add value. And as a HR, I would emphasize you should like work on your LinkedIn profile also, because a lot of people get good jobs
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
You should create good content there. It will give you more visibility to the recruiters or the companies, so that you can do it.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. There is a question from Kanchan Mishra. He is
Yes.
asking for a HR manager, is it necessary to learn data science?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. It's very your voice is not very clear.
Question is,
Hello.
for a HR manager, is it necessary to learn data science?
So data science itself a vast stream. You don't need to learn data science, but one should know the basic rules or basic information about data. Why? Because when when a manager is handling thousands or millions of profiles, so they have to track in bulk, which really requires the good understanding of data. So data statistics, stats is something which would require, but not data science.
Ma'am, thank you so much for answering all the questions and giving such a nice presentation over this topic. As you have given so much tips for maintaining good profile on social media, as well as learning some technical skills and for having some practical hands-on experience on having some project. So thank you so much for joining us and being with us. I would like to give my hearty thanks to you, and we are highly obliged for your presence here. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now moving on, I would like to invite our next speaker, Ms. Raj Sri Saha, ma'am. Ma'am, are you here on this platform? Are you online?
Yes, I am here.
Okay,
Thank you.
ma'am. So before inviting you, I would like to give a short introduction. Can you on your video, ma'am?
Sure.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So for our audience, I would like to give a short introduction to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Sri Saha ma'am. She is an experienced expert over this topic, that is HR management, and she is also a motivational speaker. She is currently working as senior process executor at global search engine Google Bangalore. She is a very well-known speaker at this subject, and she has a very experienced knowledge in this area. So we are very much pleased for your presence on this platform, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us, and I would like to request for your deliberation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me here today, and for this nice and warm welcome as well. So, good evening to everyone. And Sakshi and Shubham, I was so glad to hear them off, and they almost have spoken to almost everything about the HR transformation, the technologies, the importance of technology, and then how to groom yourself to get into the corporate market. That's very important. So, but I would like to talk about maybe a little different about pandemic situation right at the moment, because yeah, everywhere it is all about corona pandemic and huge impact on all the society, all the industries, everywhere. We are losing people because of the illness. There are people who are suffering out of hunger, monetary problem. People are losing their jobs and whatnot. The entire world is in pain right now. So yeah, it is a very black phase what we are going through and we are facing probably, but this is a phase, right? So the positive part of it is, anything comes in our life, anything negative situation, anything comes, that comes as a phase, and nothing stays forever. So how do we deal with such situation? To be very much strong, self-motivated, and thinking the positive, your motivation towards positivity, to live your life, to keep up the spirit high that yes, I'm going to survive, because everybody is facing together and we are going to survive this phase, and the life is going to be normal in coming days. So now what? Once things are settling slowly, and that is going to happen very soon, are you ready for whatever is coming after pandemic, after the situation is getting over? First question I definitely do ask myself every time, and the session, and anybody I talk for that matter, this is the first question to rise ourselves. So are we taking it as an excuse to, okay, fine, this pandemic is going on, that's what, nothing is happening, job is not there, market is not moving, economy is down, we are not getting job, that is, are you treating it as an excuse? Or are we preparing, utilizing our time? Because this lockdown, it's more than now 3 months, we are sitting at our home, we have ample time. Are we just utilizing this as an excuse of not doing anything? Or are we utilizing this time as the most valuable time to prepare ourselves for the next step? So when preparation comes and you are perfect at what you are the best version of yourself, I don't believe that anything can stop me. If I'm prepared for the right opportunity, whenever it knocks at my door, I'm ready for it and I'm going to crack it. And that's how the confidence look like. And I believe this is the best time to grow up with that confidence. And as soon as things are settling down and the opportunities starts coming, and whatever we are chasing for since so long time, prepare yourself, set up your mind, fill up, find out your purpose, that okay, I want to be this is my profession going to be, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a data scientist, I want to be a sales and marketing professional, whatever it is. Make the best version of yourself. That's what is a message I wanted to convey. Next time coming, because everybody is talking about the technology, tools, rapidly changing, right? So I'll just pick few examples. Let's say before 10-15 years, we used to, stay away from our close ones, right? How we used to communicate with them? We did not have mobile, we did not have phone, we had nothing. We used to use Telegram. That used to, take a longer time to reach to the person you are sending. Then they're getting your message. Then again they're replying back. Now from there we used to do letters, okay, post, the letter used to get delivered. Then it used to come back to you. Between there was nothing. So now looking at this criticality of getting connected with your near ones, what happened? Phone came, telephone. Ghar pe jo landline rehte the. So slowly we started to get the landlines at home. And after maybe 4-5 years, everybody used to have that broadband connection and the landline phone, and we started to connect with each other. Now what the challenge came? That when we are stepping out of the house or we are traveling somewhere, we are not able to connect with anybody. Now what happens? What we can do? Then the mobile came into the picture, right? So the initial mobiles, if you guys can recall, we just could have the facility of incoming, outgoing, and messages. And sometimes we used to play that snake games as well, if you can remember. So yeah, so we identified the problem and how it can be a better way. So that's how the technology comes. So always technology comes as the demand, and it supplies, it delivers to the generation to make it better. It's a service. So there were a lot of fearness. I mean, okay, fine, this industries are getting too much modified technologically. How do we cope up? The person who did not even know the concept of using a normal phone, these people are using today the multimedia phone, the Android phone, the iPhone, and along with all the features, we are using it. Did we know from the day when we started using that normal phone that such huge things are going to come? No, right? So it's slowly gets updated, and these updations are always user friendly. Always remember, when the technology comes in the market, if that is not user friendly, and if it is not usable, okay, by all the generation kind of people, from starting from the kids to the elders, okay, then it won't work. So the purpose of technology is always to serve the people for their health, to make life easier. Similarly, when it comes to corporate or to HR or whatever, so let's say today we are using some technology, why it is getting updated to save the time of hours, like we are investing time to do something, they are trying to save our time and let's make it better. But then the origin of this technologies are almost same. When you start working and your organization starts to adopt some new technologies, there is nothing to get scared, because you will be given training on that, how to use. Let's say today they are using C, tomorrow they are going to use C++. So definitely the people are in the organization, they are not going to be thrown away. They will be trained, they will be given ample amount of time to adopt it, and then they will start working. What matters is your willingness. How much you want to adopt it, how much you want to make yourself forward, technically strong, how much you are capable to take it. So I believe there's nothing to get scared. Always what pulls us up is our motivation, our way of looking at things, okay, willingness to grow, and some purpose of life. When your purpose is strong in life, that yes, I want to do this, I have to achieve it, and I have to crack it, it happens automatically. And whatever comes in your way as the barriers, we do get the power to overcome it. With no matter if you have to read some articles on it, read it. If you have to do some certification on it, do it. Whatever it takes you to do, you have to do it. And how do we make ourselves best every day? So I would say everyday practice, small practice, and your willingness to perform the best at your small work. Let's say you have to write a letter to your manager today. There is a normal phone call, there is a telephonic interview, or anything. Whatever comes in your way, Every day, work for it, at least spend some time and try to give your best. And when you give your best and you get the good result, that builds your confidence. Now, the corporate or wherever, whatever profession you want to go, not always it will be skills wise. I mean, if you're technically very strong, your skill is there, you are the first boy, first girl, and you're going to crack the job. No, you have to be technically strong. But other than that, there are a lot of things, like we call it as, culture, company culture. So sometimes when we take the interviews, maybe I have got somebody who's very strong technically. He's the first boy or the, rank holder or somebody. But I find him overconfident. He's not open to any thoughts. Maybe he feels like, okay, whatever I know, that's the best thing and nobody can beat me. This is called attitude. Okay. So when somebody doesn't have that learning attitude towards his future to make himself better, there the company finds out. And that kind of, definitely that kind of person we don't want. And we have a lot of opportunities for the people who are ready to take up any technology, take up anything that is given to their plate. They have the hunger to learn, they have hunger to grow in life. They are the one who survives in everywhere in their career. Okay. Anything in between? Anybody asks me to ask any questions to me? Hello. Okay.
And please, you complete. You continue. Then later on, we will take up the question.
All right. Okay. So when we come to talk about this technology implementation, when we used to, maybe before 10 years or 15 years, we used to go to the bank. Okay. We used to give that, that chit to withdraw the money. We had to go to the bank to, submit the money, whatever, deposit the money. But now we have got the ATM. So we took time to get used to it, the machine. Okay, now we have other machine also where we can go, and kiosk machine where we can do other things as well. That is available. So we took time, but we are adapting it. So that happens automatically, right? How we can look towards things and what is the demand in the market is, how do you make yourself employable? As Sakshi rightly said, that communication skills, yes. So communication skill is what? Communication skill is something that you are trying to say to somebody, opposite person who is sitting opposite to you. Whatever you're trying to say, speak to that person in a simple language so that it is understandable to him. Yeah, it's not that if you're talking to a client, like you have to utilize, your all the accents, okay, very difficult grammar or nothing as such. Simple, crisp language, so that others understand you. So specifically, if we are talking about corporates, what another thing we look into the employees we are going to hire or the candidates, applicants, smartness. Definitely how you talk to the people. So in that case, some, attitude, thing comes into the picture, like how do you maintain your eye contact? So let's say if you're talking to someone, somebody's taking your interview or just somebody's come to receive you, anything. How do you, maintain your eye contact? How do you talk to them? There's nothing harm in smiling. In case you're coming across with anybody, give a nice warm handshake and smile. And whomsoever you're talking, just maintain the eye contact. It's that easy. And nicely dressed up and groomed. Groomed means you have to always, wear something expensive, nothing like that. Whatever you are wearing, neat and clean and tidy, that's it. Your hairs are nicely set, that's it. That much is called grooming. That much is required to maintain. And now what you have to work on is, whatever the profession are you choosing, whatever the technology or whatever it is, where you want to get into, read, study, make yourself skillfully perfect, and the behavioral thing. Okay, how you're cracking the interview. So when you're talking to the interviewers, most of the question I come across like, ma'am, I get scared. Okay, how to deal with the questions that I don't know. How do I, deal with a failure in the interview? We get demoralized. So when this such question comes, the one thing I would tell you, when you go for an interview, then the person who is sitting opposite to you is right. Exactly, I am sitting opposite to you, and we are talking. So when that interview process happens, it's just the name, that interview, but you are going to have a healthy conversation of that person. He is going to ask you questions, And in world, remember one thing, nobody knows everything. It always matters, how do you maintain, how do you present yourself, how do you communicate. If you're not able to answer something, ask him directly, sir, I am not aware of, maybe I'm not so confident, if you can help me, what should I say? Make a healthy conversation with him. He will be also impressed, and he will, indulge into more communication with you, and he will get to know you better. Okay, fine, this guy is not knowing this answer, but he has the eagerness to learn, which is important for the HRs to find out the right resource. That kind of attitude you need to show. Not only show, you need to adapt for yourself to grow everywhere. Right? When you say, how do I deal with failure? Failure is nothing but a process of going towards success. Let's say today, one Chotu's baby, he's not able to walk, right? He's falling down, he's crawling, How does he start to walk? I mean, he will be keep on falling. After repeatedly, multiple times he's falling down, slowly he starts to stand and start walking. So the entire life is like that, a process of preparation. Today you are failed. Maybe I'm failed in an interview, but I can learn from it. And definitely go back to the home and do some homework. Okay, fine, today because of this I could not perform well. Correct that. Sit, okay, do some research, do some study in your mobile, laptop, anything, internet is available. How do I answer it and what it is? Okay, skill, knowledge wise, you just become, enriched. Who can stop you? So the entire world runs on mindset, how you have prepared yourself and how do you look towards things? How do you deal with it? And there is nothing to get scared of, any technology, nothing. So I think, yeah, and technical wise, everything and how to do with it. And I think Sakshi and Subham has told already. And yeah, I'll be open to questions. Thank you so much.
So the session is open for questions. The participants are who ask questions.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Please tell me.
Naran Singh from Madan Mohan Malviya University of Technology, Humanities and Management Science Department.
Very good evening, sir.
Good evening. And I want to know, like, since you are the probably only one speaker recently there who expressed ideas, initiated ideas with pandemic situation. So my question is that being a woman, HR professional as well, and motivational speaker, I look at the life of a woman in this pandemic time, like work from home, then work for home, and then if kids are there, school at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, and at the same time, because of this kind of untouchability that is going on in practice because of this new trend,
Mm-hmm.
most of the ladies are not having maids or any helping hand at their home. Most of the elderly kids are home. So how do you manage, and what will you suggest the other women to transform them and handle them to cope up with all these situations? This is my question.
I'm so glad that you have asked me this question, such an amazing question. And it would be really my pleasure to reply and answer this question as a woman, of course. So yes, this is the biggest concern, I would say, right at the moment for the woman, especially the working woman. Yeah. So, I mean, definitely the people who are housewives and all, it is challenging, very, very challenging for them as well. So here, two skill, I believe, should play a very, important role. One thing is time management, and second thing is leadership, what we generally utilize in our office. So as you said, in a family, there might be kids, there might be elders, there might be a lot of people. And again, if we are working. So yeah, we have to first set up the expectation that yes, this is the whole scenario is, on our plate, and we do not have any other choice other than dealing with it. First thing. Second thing, now segregating the time, how I can do it, because I have to do it. So if you start the time management, like I'm gonna wake up in the morning, okay, I should give this half an hour to prepare my breakfast, then log in, then I have to make again lunch, so I have to take this break or whatever is happening, so I have to plan the day accordingly. Now when I talk about the leadership quality, as you said, that there might be some elder kids as well, might be the brothers, might be father or husband, anybody. So since it is a teamwork, we should segregate some work amongst us. Maybe if the cooking part is given to the woman, maybe the peeling of the vegetables should be given to some elder kids. Maybe mopping or swiping or dusting and washing the dish should be going to the men of the house. I'm not just dedicatedly saying it, but that's how it should be managed. So yeah, the work has to be segregated amongst everybody. And sometimes maybe half an hour, 15 minutes in all the 4 hours gap or 3 hours gap, we should be together for 15 minutes fun together and share what we have done, what is going wrong, what is going right, and how can we make it better in a daytime or in lunchtime, so that communication makes the bond healthy and gives the energy to perform the next hour job. And yes, Saturday, Sunday, let's make a little bit lighter work for everyone. Let everybody do something nice for each other, and that's how it works. It's a teamwork. Yeah.
Okay, over to Aparna. Is there any more question? Participants?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Ekta, and in reference to what our respected HOD asked to you, like you said that learning attitude should always be there in every person, right?
Correct.
So, but ma'am, in this pandemic situation where work from home is in practice.
Ekta, if you don't mind, switch on your video.
Sir, video, like I'm not so prepared for video.
Okay, you can.
Okay.
Yes, so continuing my question, so ma'am, but in this pandemic situation where work from home is in practice, so like in every organization, there are employees who are above an age of 45 or 50. And usually it is seen that they resist this digital transformation. So working from home is a bigger challenge for them. So how you all cope up with it, being a HR professional?
Okay, so if I'm not wrong, I'm just repeating the question again. So you are asking about the generation, like the employees 40 to 45 years of age, who are not really open to the digital.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and
right
how
now
they're
they
coping up.
work from
Yeah,
like right now work from home is in practice. So how they'll cope up with it?
Yeah. So again, my learning thing is coming into the picture. It is quite self-explanatory. Who are not so open, they have to now understand. See, at this moment, everybody who are working and who are not working, who had the job, who has lost the job, and who's still having job, and the person who did not have the job, who is looking for a job. Everybody understands the importance of job right at the moment. How it is important for a family or for the individuals. So
Yes, ma'am.
it is very important to understand, if I need to have this job, if I have to avail all the luxury right at the moment I have, then I have to prepare for myself to make myself available for whatever is coming on my plate, and I have to do it. For that, if I have to learn the technologies, I have to learn. For that, if I have to do something for that, what takes it to do, I have to do it. Again, depends on your mindset. And companies are, see, it was not free, it was not predictable, right? Because nobody knew that such kind of scenario is going to come. So there are a lot of changes in every profession. Let's say today, if you ask me for the onboarding thing, right? We had a lot of candidates whom we have offered, and we were supposed to onboard. And as the normal onboard process follows, like the candidate has to come right to the office, and we do the onboarding thing. But now what happens? We are not able to do it. But what we are doing is we are onboarding it through online. So we have changed it. Now we have adopted the new technology to make that happen, make that possible. Like that employees doesn't have to come to the office. They will be sitting at home. All the logistics, laptop chahiye, kuch bhi chahiye, headphones chahiye, kuch bhi chahiye. So we are sending that to the employee's place, and they're logging in from their place, respective places, and they're communicating with us through the technology, through the portals, and we are making it happen. In the onboarding is happening through online. So this is a change. We were not ready to it, right? So that is how whatsoever challenges come, We have to adapt it, and companies are providing a lot of trainings to, grasp it. So I don't think, the age gap you have, age group you have said 40 to 50 years of people, wouldn't be a big challenge for them to do it. They should be able to do it if they have the willingness to save the job.
Okay, ma'am. So basically, online training is also being provided to them so that they like.
Of course, to make the employees avail all the facilities and to, enrich them with the process, learn. They will make them learn, definitely. The training would be always there.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much.
One question blinking in the chat. It's by Fazil Masood Khan. He is asking that how should the freshers prepare for and adapt to the changing scenario due to COVID-19 in the context to employment, and how do you see the job market after the pandemic and the future?
Okay. Well, so if this question is only for the freshers, I would definitely say one thing. For the fresher, there is nothing changes. Okay. You don't have to be worried about the market, what is they're doing, what is happening. Yes, there are things are happening, but what you need to focus is to focus on your study, focus on your behavioral changes, focus on your confidence building, focus on your grooming, your communication, and you have to keep your mind straight. The day I'm going out of my house or whatever, I'm logging in for an interview, first thing, I have to crack that. Just go ahead and make yourself for that day. That's it, is your business right at the moment. Okay, for that, if you have to go read some articles, go do some certifications. There are a lot of websites these days, they are doing it. A lot of things, Coda, whatever you have question in mind, you go for some company's website. What are the interview questions? What are the interview patterns? What they ask? Enrich yourself, prepare yourself for the day, the moment you get it. That day you won't have the time to regret, okay, fine, what did I do? I could not crack it. That would be the moment you should be worried. But right now, the freshers doesn't have to worry about the market. First question. Second question, what I feel is the job market would be what? See, the companies cannot run with the name. Okay, today Microsoft just can't improve or make business with only the name. They need resources. If there are no resources to work, to grow, to build the things they are looking for, company cannot run. So it goes hand in hand. So definitely companies will start to have their employees for the openings and whatever, that will start. But then the point you should keep in mind is, if before pandemic, if the job ratio was 1:5, now the job ratio is going to be 1:50. So the competition is going to be very much high. So job will be there, but you have to be the best to crack the job. अगर पहले ऐसा था कि ठीक है मैं अभी कर लूंगा जॉब, ठीक है जितना भी मेरा प्रिपरेशन है जो भी है, अभी माइंडसेट होना चाहिए कि आई एम नॉट रेडी, आई हैव टू लर्न मोर थिंग्स, आई एम नॉट रेडी फॉर इट, एंड आई हैव टू बी द बेस्ट आउट ऑफ दोस 50 candidates who are going to apply for that one job. Yeah, and that's it. I don't think it's gonna harm too much, but it will take some time to come back to the normal state of it, and the jobs will come back, of course. Because if you see today, I take the example of Amazon or Myntra delivery. So we used to deliver, order through these e-commerces, and we used to get the things delivered within 1 day or 2 days. If today we are ordering something, it's taking 10 to 15 days. Why? Because they need resource. They don't have the resource. So definitely to improvise this, they will come up with next, different kind of openings. They need people. So you don't know today the opening, yesterday before pandemic, maybe the requirement was something. Maybe after pandemic, the requirement may be a little bit changed with different skill set, but the requirement would be there. That's how I look at it.
Okay, any more question or discussion or observation any participant would wish to share? Any more observation, discussion or question any one of you wish to ask or share? Over to Aparna.
Hello.
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 Thank you so much, ma'am, for your deliberation, wonderful address it was, and you have nicely said that confidence is missing in this era, And
Hello.
whatever you want to do,
Hello, please.
have confidence, you can do it. So confidence is necessary whatever you are doing or whatever you want to do. So
Yeah.
we have answered each and every question, and we are very much pleased to have you with us. We are very much obliged with your presence here on this platform, and for that we are heartily thanking you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Moving further, I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. S.N. Singh sir, Associate Professor and Head HMSD, MMUT Gorakhpur. Dr. S.N. Singh sir is a critic, a short story writer, a poet, and also a literary scholar. He has more than 60 papers and 5 books to his credit, and the counting is still on. Under his leadership and motivational guidance, we have achieved so much in this few months, that is less than 4 months, and we are still going on this path. So thank you so much, sir, for guiding us every time and motivating us to do something good in life and something good in our academic career. So I humbly invite you to on this platform for sharing your thoughts and for your address. Thank you, sir.
Before I start, I would like to talk that whether Rashmi ma'am is with us. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. One of our students left a question, and
Okay.
since the forum is for her, so I would like to request her to ask her question. Ankita Tripathi. Faisal is also our student, passing out MBA this year. And it's a very good news for you. You might feel happy that even in MBA first year he qualified NET, and he qualified NET second time. By the time he appeared in the first semester exam, then he has a job in his pocket, a few jobs.
Okay.
And here one of our dear students, Ankita, she wants to raise a question. So I would like to tell her to unmute and ask her question. Ankita.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, and if you can switch on your video as well. Ankita.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, all of you. Ma'am, I want to ask you a question. If I don't do the internship from the work from home, instead of it, I take some certificate regarding to my profession, that was good for the fresher in this pandemic situation.
See, internship is always important, I would say, because you get some, practical experience on it. Okay, how the industry works, how the work culture is, and you get an idea how to deal with your colleagues and how the work culture works actually. So it prepares you for the next step when you actually join as an employee. So that's how internship gives you a lot of learning, because generally during internship there would be a lot of work, different kind of work. Once you join the company, you are categorically working towards a particular thing, because whatever your designation and your area of interest and what you are hired for, you will be given that particular job. But when you are doing internship, there would be multiple kind of things you will get a chance to explore, learn. That is the best time to learn. So yeah, certification is important. Certification that is important because companies are looking for certifications as well. They're counting on it, and they are they count it as a extra skill. But if you are asking me between internship and certification, then I would definitely say internship has its own impact, which certification probably can't give you that much, that learning, that feel of it. Internship is nothing but an employment during for certain period. But certification is again the study. Probably you won't get that practical experience of it. That's how I feel.
Ma'am, if I do the project work on it, then
Yeah, so basically internships are happening at home these days, and it is based on, like, your assignment and projects, how it is working for you. So I would like to understand that process first.
ma'am, just like if I do the project work in my assignment work, then I get some knowledge about the just like I'm doing some project work, so I get the knowledge about how how in the industries you all are hiring the peoples, and so I just want to that if I do the project work like that, so it is helpful or not.
Anything you do that will definitely enhance your skills, and that will give you a different level of learning, anything in that matter. But if you're it's coming to the internship, I would say that internship gives you, I mean, it's just like, the difference between practical and theory. So whatever you go through the theory, whatever project you make, and whatever you do assignments, that is the theory after all. When it comes to the internship, it is the practical experience you get, how it works. So there is a difference. So there is an importance of internship always in life, and that's how I would definitely tell, because I find my internship is the as the turning point of my life, because I could understand what am I supposed to do, what am I meant for, what is not my area of interest. That is the time you can actually understand yourself. So internship is something different. But then, yeah, definitely, if you would like to do certifications, project works, it has its own thing. You will be knowledge wise, you will be strong. Yeah, so that's what.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for taking up this question. Actually, since we teach these things in the classroom environment, and exactly what you are giving them, it is like internship for them. And what we are giving them, it is like more theoretical. And that's what the basic nature that our students and participants should try to understand. And it is thanks, Aparna, for your and your introduction. And ma'am, thank you for rejoining the question answer session. It's normally never happen, but it's shows your cordial nature and professional approach, and that's what our students should also learn. They should learn from you, from this session, that how should we be open for any question or open for any situation and try to face it, and even try to never say die approach. Then coming to my talk, how do I look as a man of language, literature, and business communication to this topic, human resource transformation and digital workforce? When it comes to me, so first I would like to say, what is human and how come it become human resource? Pre-industry, first my talk has nothing to do with industry, the first part, 1 or 2 points. Then I will jump in my journey will lead to that terrain. So first of all, I would like to say, being human or human being. So human being is a part of species, and being human is a part of process. And then, can all human being be a resource for industrial environment? First question. And you said about culture. Well, my previous resource person talks about culture of the industry. If we are having a lot many technical skills, but we are not matching the work culture or the environment of the industry, Dr. Rajesh ji teach here cross-cultural communication, cross-cultural business environment and a lot many things. So culture is what and how we survive in a particular culture and in a particular environment. So the difference between human being and being human is Human being is a biological trait that we are born with, a sort of species, but being human requires a lot of training, huge amount of training. And if we look at humanity, so I look at humanity as in crisis. The world before December 2019 means before the advent of novel coronavirus and COVID-19, and the world after the post-COVID world, when we will try to overcome all these lockdowns and quarantine experiences, are going to be entirely different. And even the culture of industries will not be the same as it was earlier prior to December 19. So these 6 months or you can say 1 year approx, they are going to create a huge shift all around in the life of human being and in the life of being human. In what way? When one particular industry is telling that I am going to adopt 25-25 formula, that has never came into the industrial practice, never been part of that. What is that 25-25 formula? That 25% workforce will work on job site, or you can say from the office of the corporate, and only 25% of the space will be used. So this will sort out the problem. What benefit this 25-25 formula will provide? That 25% of the workforce and 25% of the infrastructure for working online, or sorry, on-site, and from the office of the corporate. Rest of the 75%, they will work from home. So definitely, as I raised the question of work from home for women, work for home, school at home. So why did I raise this question? At least my previous speaker gave me the plot to speak and develop my ideas and thought from there. Because Indian women working day starts at least an hour before the work started by male members of the family, and it ends at least 1 hour later when the speakers are, when other family members, male members have stopped working. And we have a fairly blended forum of speakers, like 2 invited female speakers and 2 invited male speakers. And the balance is there. That's why the question is that, and I would like to make a statement with a very responsible statement, and I think both the women HR professionals might be aware about it, they might be definitely knowing that working women in India, they work and dedicate more than time and energy than animal also works all across the world in any industrial scenario. And they are paid less, they are working more. Housewives are working without payment and without salary fixed if they are housewives. So in that situation, what I observe as the feminist thinker, that women workers are suffering more. Female workforce is suffering more because of this pandemic than any male worker. And then after that, when we look at the history of HR, we will find that earlier it was known as personnel management. Then it became human resource management because people also started looking at human being, trained human being as resource, whereas earlier they were being considered as manpower only. And finally this term development, this went out with the another phase, human capital management. And then human beings started being looked as human capital. They started being equated with the capital. When we look at resource, the term resource and human, so how if we are having our natural resources, we are having our other resources. Similarly, human being and manpower dedicated to a team are comprising a team, that is a limited resource given to the team leader to utilize and capitalize upon. And that way, industry runs and leadership start taking decisions. For that purpose, HR professionals, when they start looking for recruitment, they try to look certain traits and qualities. I will not go into that, as Ms. Sakshi from Infosys deliberated upon that in great detail and in depth that. So going and touching upon those points will simply be reiterating the thing, because she talked about even resume size, preparation, and a lot many things. And at the same time, Ms. Rajashri dedicated her time on grooming all the soft skills, then touching upon strength, self-motivation, and a lot many points. So what is that? But here again, the question that was raised by Ankita, our student, I think it was, uh, I think this question is needs to be pondered over more. And to add on the answers given by what, hello, hello, don't interrupt please. So I will take up the questions towards the end, so please don't interrupt. While talking on that, I am going back on that soft skills were touched upon and skills to upgrade. What I mean to add about internship and knowledge. Knowledge also gives you your skills, but internships are the testing grounds. And the people call it like रियाज में जितना पसीना बहाओगे जंग में उतना खून बचाओगे. So, and very recently you might see that the war front, I would not like to name with any neighboring country, day before there was some combat sort of thing was there without shooting a bullet. We lost our 20 plus precious soldiers, but at the same time, the loss at the other side was double. So similarly, in this pandemic situation, that preparation and the kind of available resources that internship from home will definitely provide you some knowledge. But internship direct from the industry, that will add on to first-hand experience and exposure to the industrial environment. I will not shy upon confessing one thing before three industrialist speakers, and you are our capital for this session. You are our resource for this session. We are resource persons for this session. I would confess one thing. Once I was in a training, there was a question asked to me, whom do you teach? I said students. Industrial experts said you should be hanged and you should be trialed. I said, why? They said that if you are treating them as kids, they are going to be pampered. If you are treating them as a student, you are still giving them extra care. Professional studies, professional environment require even better training. So try to treat them from very first day as managers or as engineers. So you will be able to create a better task force for us, and you will be able to bridge the gap from academia and industry. So industry institute gap is lying in between there. The kind of product we are giving to the industry and that kind of corporate and the kind of expectation people like Mr. Subham Tripathi ji, Ms. Sakshi and Ms. Rajashri Saha are expecting, there remains always a huge gap, and probably by all the participants will be agreeing with that, that internship is the bridge to bridge up the gap of academia and industry. That's what I wish to focus upon, and that's what was my take on. Then a few days back we were having our webinar with Wisconsin University, Green Bay, USA. So there two professors were contradicting with each other that how can we handle this pandemic in a better way. So one was telling that, one expert from US was of the opinion that we should try to be connected well on social media or on connected well on with technology. Definitely technology is the platform for bridging this gap of distance from industry to institute, because most of the students in most of the universities and colleges, they go for industrial training in this break only, summer break, but they couldn't avail the training. So I would like to add on to my participants as well as for my students that online training from home is the only option available for you. You don't have other option to move to the industry and acquire training to groom yourself. So in that situation, like if somebody is quarantined, he will have to manage home quarantine. He will have to manage whatsoever resources available in his kitchen for the 13 days, 14 days, so on and so forth. That's what is the requirement. So being connected well on technology was the take on of one suggestion, but to be disconnected was the take on of the another profession. Both of these are important, I think, to be connected and to be disconnected. While being disconnected, you are looking inside you, doing introspection, that what else you require to make you more eligible or more fit for the industry and academia. Even your fitness will, fitness in the terms of training, you can revise your LinkedIn CV, you can make it, you can float your CV to the various industries. You can also look for the opportunity, work from home. You can try to mobilize your compatibility on the technology farm. At the same time, you can introspect while being disconnected with the technology, that what else is required to make a better Ankita. What else is required for Ankita? What else is required to make you a better Faisal? What else is required that can, there was a take on like by Ms. Rajshri, she said that you can make an excuse that because of this pandemic time, there is recession, job retrenchment, or so on and so forth. But at the same time, you can think that in what way you can contribute to groom yourself, in what way you can contribute to prepare yourself for the profession. So these things may be pondered over, and these things may be thought upon to make you a better industry ready corporate fit personality, and to groom yourself as the better manager which corporate and academia are looking for. So with all these words, I would like to wish all the participants to be fit and healthy, and then I would like to take on the questions, if any. Over to Aparna, or if somebody is looking at the question, please ask.
The participants are requested to ask questions. If you have any question, you can ask to sir. Dear participants, am I audible to you?
Yes, any of you may ask question if you are having. Session is open for questions.
I guess, sir, your lecture was quite clear, so there is no question. That's why they are not having any doubts about it. So we can move on. So thank you so much, sir, for your this lecture that is well organized from the basic concept of human being to being human, as you have described that how being human is different from human being, as being human requires a lot of training and transformation, and you also explain how being human can be done by internship and lots of training, and internship is a bridge between academia and industry. So for these enlightening thoughts and words, I would like to thank you from the bottom of the heart, and I would like to move on to the vote of thanks, and before calling it to a close, the thank to the different members that were involved in this webinar is due. So I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for his gracious presence, as he always there for us, motivating us, guiding us whenever we are in need. Whatever he is doing, he always get time for us. Then I would like to thank our esteemed guest and speaker, Mr. Shubham Tripathi, sir. He has given us his valuable time, and he has very well explained all the aspects of this topic, human resource transformation and digital workforce. Moving on, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Ms. Sakshi Jan, ma'am, as she wonderfully explained what this topic means and how can we involve ourselves in this pandemic time for enhancing our personality and moving for the next time. Then I would like to thank Ms. Rashri Saha ma'am for his motivational talk and giving his valuable tips for boosting of confidence and doing and solving lots of queries and questions of the students that were asked by the students. Now, I would like to thank our head of department, Dr. Sudhir Narayan sir, for his guidance, his motivation, his cooperation, and his valuable time, that he is always with us whenever we are doing any activities, and whatever we are doing, he is always there with all his support, with his kind words, his presence, and without him, it is quite difficult for us to move ahead. So for this, we are very much thankful to you, sir. And then I would like to thank my fellow colleagues, the members, members of this organizing committee, Dr. Tatesh Singh sir, for organizing this wonderful webinar, organizing all these things on his end. And then I would like to thank our technical support engineer, Vijendra Puspal sir, Dr. Abhijit.
Hello, I think, hello, I think voice is gone, Aparna. Let me take it from you. And we are thankful to our team, Dr. Ravi Gupta ji, Dr. Abhijit Mishra ji, Dr. Vinay Kumar Yadav ji, Mr. Bijen Puskar ji, Dr. Ugrashen Puskar ji, and Dr. Rajesh Singh is the backbone behind this event particularly, and Dr. Ugrashen, Dr. Priyanka Rai, Dr. Kehkashan Khan, Dr. Bharti Shukla. I'm also thankful to Professor Arjun Dubey sir, who is a guiding force for us. He is Professor Emeritus of the department, and Dr. Ritu Srivastava, Dr. Deven Tiwari, and I'm really thankful to Dr. Aparna for being moderator of the event, Dr. Javed Alamji, Dr. Ms. Sonia Bhatt, and Ms. Astha Pathak. I'm thankful to all the department who work day and night to host series of events with us, and we in that series we could plan it today. And definitely our resource persons are our resource of the day, and they are HR experts. So I am thankful to Ms. Sakshi, and from the as head of the department, my sincere thanks are due to you. We are really thankful from the department side. We are really thankful to Mr. Shubham Tripathi and motivational speaker. Sir, pardon me, I couldn't be connected at the beginning of your part, and because of the poor connectivity of the internet, so I couldn't get the most part of your talk. But again, I could listen from the question that how interesting your talk might have been. And then Ms. Rajashree Saha, we are really thankful to you. Above all, without the nod of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, it will not be possible to make even a single step ahead. And last but not the least, we have a very great gentleman with us, Dr. Anil Kumarji from KNIT Sultanpur. That's a a lot of thanks are due to you, and we will not thank you that way because we cannot thank good friends, and there is no sorry and no thanks among friends. So as the head of the department, still my professional thanks are due to you, and definitely we will be hosting a lot many programs together in coming days. So with the grace of you all, with the support of you all, we are moving towards the end of the program, and I think there is time to say bye, and we will meet again in some program someday. We will keep organizing. Because of you, my students are today a bit more aware and more oriented. Thank you all. Thanks for being with us. Thank you. I think we should now we should now part with each other, and we will rejoin again. Anil Kumarji has shared some link, and you can do the needful by visiting there. There is a Google form, and you can fill it. So you can copy the link, all the participants. Thanks for being with us.